good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while because if you guys do not know, it's just been crazy with this virus. I have not been in the mood mentally, so I just decided to take another break. But we're gonna go with the flow, and I hope you guys are safe and sound. And I'm not gonna ramble too much because I missed you guys and I hope you guys miss me. So today we're gonna be talking about 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery. This case, y'all. I heard about this case only a week ago as I was on my little fast from uploading. And it was presented by someone on social media because they were like, Steph, I really want you to touch on this case because this is one of those ones where it deals with racial profiling and it just has a lot of key areas where it's not getting a lot of attention. And not even only that, but where it happened and just the details surrounding it. So we're gonna dissect into what happened to 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery, and I want you guys to let me know what you think of this case. You probably heard about it. It happened in Atlanta, Georgia, and a lot of the news articles are saying that it would have been received national media attention, but due to social distancing and the coronavirus, it hasn't really picked up due to this 25-year-old black male being shot. And as I read the headlines, it's baffling. It's baffling, to say the least. Ahmaud was 25 years old. Like I said previously, he lived in the Glenn County area of Georgia as he was staying with his mother. He's a high school football standout athlete, and he shot dead in Celia Shores suburban area. Friends and family stated that he was always in good shape. He loved to run, and so he would always go on a jog throughout his neighborhood and surrounding neighborhoods. Sadly, on February 23rd of 2020, around 1 p.m., Ahmaud was jogging when he was profiled and he was shot dead. And now we're gonna get into the details surrounding this because this is crazy as I was reading it, and I'm gonna also link all the sources down below so you guys can read it for yourselves because it's crazy. So Ahmaud was running in this suburban area when a man was standing in his front yard and he seen Ahmaud running. And so this area previously had a lot of break-ins and just a lot of robberies that had been occurring. And so the person, I guess, who was robbing these homes was a listed black man. So this man is in his yard, he's doing whatever he's doing, and he calls his son. And so the older man, who was 64 years old, Gregory McMichael, and like I said previously, he's the older man that was in the yard. So then he calls his 34-year-old son, Travis McMichael. And this is where it starts to take that toll. So, and as I was reading, I was trying to put myself in his shoes. I'm running, then you have this older man in this neighborhood and he's profiling you because that's exactly what it was. Because in this neighborhood, they had a lot of break-ins. And according to the police report, they had a shotgun and I'm probably pronouncing this wrong. I'm not really familiar with guns. So it was a .357 Magnum. And like I said previously, they had a shotgun as well. They begin to get in their pickup truck, and this is when they begin to follow Mr. Arbery. They first begin to cut him off with their pickup truck, which was unsuccessful. I was reading, a third man was involved in this following of Mr. Arbery. And what's ironic is before, I want to say either, because how they have it specified, they don't say if it was when Mr. Gregory seen Mr. Arbery, but moments before they actually got in the pickup truck, there was a call that was stated that there was a break-in by a black man in this neighborhood. But what's crazy is the 911 call basically was stating that it was on that block of where the Mr. Gregory lived at. I would say Mr. Gregory, while Gregory lived at. And I find that very strange because what if realistically he called the police and then he used this as kind of like bait to chase this man? Because from what I've read, he is a retired police officer and detective. So I don't know, but when I look at it, when I started to read that detail, far as a call was made to 911 shortly before this chase began, is it kind of just doesn't mesh well with me and my feelings when it comes to that. I mean, it could have been someone else called, but it's just so ironic that it was on this block, that this is where the call, the house. It's just ironic that it came from, that break-in came from that block, is all I'm saying. Not saying that he did, but I just find it very strange. During the chase, they basically shout out the vehicle, stop, we want to talk to you. And in my mind, I'm like, if I see 3 white men trying to run after me in a truck, I'm not stopping. So when they pulled up near him, they get out of the vehicle with the shotgun. And I'm like, I don't know much about Georgia, but I do know they have the carry, you can carry your weapons and all that stuff. But my thing is, if you're really just trying to talk to someone, why are you bringing a gun to this confrontation? And furthermore, why not just call the police and leave it to the police if you're a retired police officer? So you should know how this goes. So Gregory McMichael tells police in this police report that Mr. Arbery is to attack Travis, the son. 2 men, Mr. Arbery and Mr. Travis, they begin to fight, and that's when they were tussling, and so it said the shotgun goes off. There was 2 shots, and in the reporting, Travis is the one who did the shot. In their defense, they claim that Mr. Arbery hit Travis first. So because Georgia has this license to carry, and I guess you can kind of like protect yourself when it comes to your gun, that's kind of why they have not been charged. So I'm gonna move on to that aspect of this story. So there was a letter that came out, which the Times had ended up getting a hold of, and it was said that the reason why they didn't pursue the 2 individuals is because there was not enough probable cause. One, to me, that's BS if you ask me. I'll read this part because I want to make sure I'm reading it correctly. So in the letter, Mr. Barnhill, and Mr. Barnhill is the district attorney, and he ended up having to get off the case because there was a conflict, I believe so, because he knows the McMichaels. But I'm going to read you this statement that he wrote. So in the letter, Mr. Barnhill noted that the McMichaels were legally carrying. I had to cut in here real quick because my daughter decided to scream, but they were legally carrying their firearms. Under Georgia's open carry law. He said the pursuers were within their rights to pursue what he called a burglary suspect, and cited a state law that states a private person may arrest an offender if the offense is committed in his presence or within immediate knowledge. Mr. Barnhill also argued that if Mr. Arbery attacked Travis McMichael, Mr. McMichael was allowed to use deadly force to protect himself under Georgia law. But in my mind, it's like, you don't know if this man actually broke into this home. You just assume so because you've seen him jogging in the area, and because he's a black man, and because there has been numerous reports of break-ins in the area from a black man. You decided to just focus on this one black man, and that was it. And regardless if Mr. Arbery wanted to talk to you or not, he did not have to talk to you because he did not do anything legally wrong. He's going for a jog. And I feel like him being a retired police officer, he should know that and because the laws are different, because I live in Maryland, it's different, but nonetheless, I just feel like you create these things when you try to take the law into your hand. Because if he did, not saying, I don't know, because there isn't any proof that he did break into any of these homes. If he did or if he did not, it's not your duty to be worrying about it. He didn't break into your home. He wasn't breaking into your house. So why is that any of your concern? I think the world needs to do this thing called mind their business. If more people do this, more people would not get into arguments and conflict. So Now I'm gonna discuss what Mr. Arbery's defenders are saying. What's crazy is that district attorney, Mr. Barnhill, he tries to throw in mental health issues that Mr. Arbery had. Of course, character assassination, which most prosecutors do. So Mr. Arbery's defenders basically say Mr. Arbery's attorney, which is Michael J. Moore, he basically called what Mr. Barnhill's letter is very flawed. He believes it's what it was. Mr. Arbery was just simply jogging in this area that was not even that far from his home. So now I'm going to read you what Mr. Arbery's attorney states. So Mr. Moore said, the McMichaels appeared to be the aggressors in the confrontation, and such aggressors were not justified in using force under Georgia's self-defense laws. The laws does not allow a group of people to form in an armed posse and chase down an unarmed person who they might believe or have possibly been the perpetrator of a past crime, Mr. Moore writes. And that's how I feel. It's like, yes, there is a law to protect you, carrying your weapon, but it's like you ganged up. You got your daddy, your son, and then this other individual who they don't list, but it's in the police report. You have 3 people against 1. Why in the world would you possibly think someone would want to stop? I don't care who you are, what race you are. I'm not stopping if there's 3 girls in a car trying to confront me. If anything, I'm gonna try to get home, and then you can try to confront me there, because then we can call police on your ass, and now you locked up, because now you're following me. What you following me for if I didn't do no crime? And people could say, oh, well, if he didn't do anything, he would stop. Come again? You're 3 men with a shotgun and another gun in the car. I'm not stopping. I'm not answering no questions. I'm just going to call the popo. So, like I said previously, Mr. Barnhill took himself off this case. Then another individual pops on. He's the 3rd prosecutor that is on this case, because there was another one. I want to see. It doesn't really specify who the first one is in this article that I'm reading. Of course, I can find it, but I just wanted to let you guys know it did not say it in this article that I'm reading, which will be linked down below. But nonetheless, Tom Durkin will be looking at this case with fresh eyes, and then we will see what happens. So I found this. There is reports that there is surveillance of Mr. Arbery running in the community. And I want to read just a few snippets of the 911 calls from these individuals. So, both callers to 911 that day reported seeing Mr. Arbery running. The identities of the callers were redacted from the transcript of the 911 call, provided the news. Arbery had been seen recently on surveillance video in the neighborhood, according to the first caller. Neither call specifies a crime Arbery might have committed. There's a guy in the house right now. It's under construction, the man told the dispatcher. The man then gave her an address. And you said someone's breaking into it right now, the dispatcher asked. No, the man replied. It's all open. It's under construction. The man interrupted to say Arbery was leaving, and there he goes right now. Okay, the dispatcher said. What is he doing? He's running down the street, the man said. The next sentence is garbled. That's fine, the dispatcher said. I'll get police out there. I need to know what he was doing wrong. Was he just on the premises and not supposed to be? The next sentence is garbled, and he's been caught, and then it says in parentheses, and he's been caught on camera a bunch at night. It's kind of an ongoing thing. The man building the house has got heart issues. I think he's not going to finish it. Okay, that's fine, the dispatcher says. And you said he was a male in a black t-shirt. White t-shirt, the man said. Black guy, white t-shirt. He's done run into the neighborhood again. The next 911 call came from the same area around 1:14 p.m. Mind you, Mr. Arbery was running around 1 p.m. in this area. He went running around 1 and probably got in the area around that time. So they asked her where at. Dispatcher asked, I don't know what street we're on, the man replied. Stop, he can be heard shouting. Watch that, stop, damn it, stop. The call went blank for several minutes, with the dispatcher trying several times to reach the caller. The call eventually hangs up. And as I was reading, there was a break-in around January 1st of 2020 with Travis McMichael. He basically left his car door open and someone broke in and ended up stealing an item. I believe it was a gun. And then there was another break-in which occurred on February 23rd, the day Mr. Arbery was killed. And so to me, when I'm looking at this information, it's kind of like they played into this. It's kind of like they plotted to take Mr. Arbery down. Now, I don't know Mr. Arbery's past, nor do I care to know his character. And I don't say that in a bad way, because it's like every time someone dies, they always want to bring up their past, okay? So we all have past. No one is perfect. We all have skeletons in our closets. No one is perfect. And so to me, I don't care about that. It's what's happening in this mother freaking moment. That's what matters to me. Was this person actually committing a crime? And if they weren't, and like the dispatcher said, they had called police. So there was no reason for these three individuals to chase Mr. Arbery. So to me, they created this situation and they should be held accountable. I'm sorry, should be held accountable, because if the dispatcher says he has called police to come to this area, let the police do their work. And what's oddly enough is you're a freaking retired police officer. How do you not know this? Why are you trying to take things into your own hands? Sometimes you just gotta let shit go and you gotta mind your business. And that's pretty much what it is. And that's why we create these situations, because we don't mind our damn business. But that's pretty much Mr. Arbery's case. His mother has been on a lot of different platforms trying to get her son's story out there. And I really wanted to touch light on this and make my own accusations off of this. And just by reading some of the stuff, it's like it just doesn't sit well with my spirit. It doesn't at all. And I'm not saying that Mr. Arbery is perfect, but it just doesn't sit right with me that someone jogging, you're in your yard, and ironically a phone call comes to the dispatcher around the same time. Doesn't sit right with me at all. I don't know. But nonetheless, that is pretty much Mr. Ahmaud Arbery's story. He was 25 years old and he lost his life. I am sending love and light to his family. I hope that there will be some resolution to this story, and I will keep you guys updated as it unfolds. So guys, until the next story, I will see you.